All right, welcome to the last part of Chapter 7 for the Exercise Leadership 2 course. And we'll finish with the functional assessment type stuff. All right. So again, we're going to go over some balance tests and some dynamic balance tests, and we'll kind of talk about some of the good and the bad with these. All right. So again, client needs to maintain, if you do sorry, let me back up. First one we'll look at is sharpened Romberg test. So you want the client to maintain balance with good postural control without excessive swing and not exhibit any of the test termination criteria for more than 30 seconds. Inability to reach 30 seconds indicates inadequate static balance and postural control. Now here's one of the issues with doing this test is you can see you're doing a test with your eyes closed. Now, here's one of the things. Most people rely on their balance with their eyes open because anytime they're doing any type of balance type work, they typically have their eyes open, right? And that is a sense that they use for proprioception. So again, it's fun to do closed-eyed balance tests. Again, if you want to work on that. But again, I would not take this as this person has serious balance issues, because again, if they've never practiced balance testing with their eyes closed, their balance will not be that good with their eyes closed. Again, it's you're taking away one of the senses, right? And so it's one of those, when you see this, doesn't necessarily mean postural control doesn't. It just means that they're unsure of their environment when they can't see the environment. Okay. Again, they they're going to move, or they're going to open their eyes, because again, some people get a weird feeling, like that things are moving when their eyes are closed, right? So again, really, it's a fine thing for them to work on. You could add this in if you want them to work on, like closed-eyed balance stuff. And what you'll notice is over time, nothing else you do. So if you had this person just work on this test every single day, so say they didn't work out, they didn't do anything else, and they just work on this test with their eyes closed, they're gonna improve. It is what it is. So again, it's a good way to see how you do on this, right? Again, these are all tests that test balance, but they're also specific to things that you may or may not do, right? So again, if you have a guy or girl that's really they've been doing yoga quite a bit and they do the tree stance type thing, this is going to be very easy. Somebody who doesn't do single leg balance with their other leg in this position and things like that may not do so well. You may even have folks that can do a pistol squat that may, because of the leg being out and going up and down, may not perform all that great. But again, they can balance themselves down in a pistol squat position on each leg, right? I mean, so again, that's one of the things, is there's some crossover with certain things. Sometimes there's not. And again, sometimes, you're really just testing the test, right? The test may not tell you much else from that, right? So again, these are things that you look for, when they're doing this. But you know, there's a lot of things that there could be going on, right? Somebody could have ankle instability. Somebody could have a hip issue. Somebody just might not be good at balancing on one foot. There's too many variables that may, keep them from doing this well. So what does it tell you? To me, it tells me nothing until I start, teasing each one of those elements out, right? So we're going to look at torso muscular endurance test batteries. So here's one trunk flexor endurance test. So you're going to first move them into position, then take away their support. Again, you don't want to do this if anybody has low back issues, any back surgeries, and low back flare-ups. Again, it's a strange position to be in. you know, to really be, you know, like honest with this test. Again, this one's not too bad of a test because you really are, you're testing two things here is, because you have them in a weird balance position they may not normally be in. So again, that could be part of it, but for the most part, this does test their endurance, their strength, in terms of muscular endurance. But what you may want to do is kind of like take it away, then bring it back so that they get, you know, like kind of a feel for what this is going to be. Again, it's sort of a weird position that you've probably never been in, where, you know, like you're in this weird, like almost, you know, like 45-degree angle, and all of a sudden your support gets taken away, right? Again, this is another one that's not a bad test. Some people have trouble getting their body up in a straight position, so you got to help them to get to that position so they know how it feels. Other than that, just again, any back issues, and this one with shoulder issues may be one that some folks can't do. Again, extensor test, this one's pretty straightforward. Really not a lot of issues with this one. Again, you got to be careful with anybody with back issues on it. But and just making sure that they get to a good position. But again, this isn't a bad endurance test. Okay. Again, nothing major with these. These again go with the assessment stuff we've been going over. Not a whole lot to it, but yeah, it's, you know, like I said, if you really want to assess things, assess it based on what people do, what they need to do, what they commonly do, what they're aiming to do, not so much on these ambiguous tests that tell us, you know, they can tell us that they have multiple problems. Maybe they have one problem. You don't know until you kind of figure that out. And again, it's usually better to identify possible issues that someone may have in the movements that they actually do during their day, or the movements that they need to perform based on the goals and based on why they're in there, you know, or, you know, daily living activities, things of that nature, not so much things that they may never ever do again, right? So my 2 cents, that's what I got on that. All right, see you in chapter 8.